Hi everyone and welcome back. Thank you for joining us in Studio A now. Look how wonderful it all looks. So hello, I am joined by three wonderful individuals for today's panel on football and anti-racism. We have Keith, who's a former footballer and multi-award winning entrepreneur, recognized as one of the UK's most successful businessmen supporting the next generation. I have Troy, who has worked tirelessly to promote inclusion and challenge discrimination across the game and beyond. He was selected as one of the FA's 150 grassroots heroes, whilst also receiving 2 awards from the Football Blacklist, which focuses and celebrates the contributions of Black people working in football. And in the middle, we have the gorgeous Holly, who's a founder of Morgan Sport Management and is also a qualified solicitor, as well as previously playing for and later coaching at Leicester City. By the way, we actually attended Leicester University, not in the same years, but the same university. So there you go. Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
Hi. All good.
Great. So my first question is for all of you. If you could just tell us, each of you, about your journey, the milestones that created the values and purpose that you hold today. Keith, can we start with you?
Yeah, of course. I guess for me, growing up, my mother and father split when I was quite young, so I grew up in a single parent household, but it was still very much a loving household. But me sharing that off the bat straight away, I grew up very quickly, and so I took responsibility at a young age. I have a younger sister, and I took responsibility for her as well. And I think whilst as a child, I was already prioritising kind of my responsibilities over maybe my childhood, you know, and just literally going out and playing football versus making sure my sister was at home okay and the table was set and that kind of thing. So I had sort of values instilled in me at a very young age, and I think then I guess I had this kind of internal ambition to go against the grain, actually. And so growing up through school and education, I was a little bit of a cheeky chappy, if you like, at school.
No.
I was. But because of that, I didn't settle, basically. I didn't settle and conform necessarily for what maybe was put in front of me. And so I was the guy that came up with 1,000,001 ideas. But then it was about executing on some of those ideas. And ultimately, I was a player. I wanted to be a footballer. And everyone around me thought I was going to be a professional footballer. You believe that and want that to happen. And then I got an injury. I sustained an injury. Unfortunately, I couldn't recover from that. So I missed out on my pro contract when I was at Charlton Athletic. But it was then kind of what happened next for me. And I guess my grounding, hence me sharing it, was that I potentially could have spiralled, in fairness. And through the work that we do now through the Street Soccer Foundation, there's a lot of young people where certain circumstances occur for them and they can spiral and they have this kind of negative influence around them. I was very fortunate that I had a loving family and support network around me that I could create a second chapter. And for me, that was creating my own company and setting up my own business. And ever since that point then, as I sort of went through the motions of that over a 10-year period, the main thing for me in terms of my purpose, if you like, and my values and mission statement and everything else, was when I went round the world for 4 months, came back, and I had pretty much a paradigm shift. I had a real sense of gratitude about what I had around me. And then for me, having sold my company, it was then all about the why statement. And there's a lovely sort of description around the 3 golden circles, Simon Sinek, and he describes having a why statement about what you do. So why do you do what you do on a day-to-day basis? And so I kind of have a mission now in terms of my day-to-day practice of questioning, why am I doing this? And is it serving me? Is it serving the people around me? And that sense of gratitude and wanting to help others. And I get to do it through the power of football. So I'm extremely fortunate.
Amazing. We're going to touch more in depth about, you know, your organization and everything a little bit later in this interview. But yes.
My turn. Thank you so much for having me today.
No, pleasure.
A little bit about myself. So my background is football. I played for Leicester City for 18 years, started as an 11-year-old. And I think for me, my whole experience is being a part of the system where I'm a minority. And whether that's been playing, captain, as a first team coach, as an academy lead, I've always felt like I've been, you know, fighting the fight of, I know I'm different, I know I'm a minority in this group, in this system, but I don't want to conform. I don't want to I don't want to have to become somebody that I'm not. I want to always try to remain my most authentic self. And it's incredibly hard because, especially in a professional elite environment, you can argue that to make it to the top, sometimes you kind of have to act different. And I think the problem in football, and from my experience and what I've seen and from what I hear from other people, it's almost like you can't be your true self, because in order to fit into a system that's not necessarily made up for you, you sometimes lose a little bit of who you are. And I think for me, through my journey of playing and coaching, I've always wanted to be loud and step in when I think something's wrong. Whether that's, questioning somebody in terms of what they've said, i.e. if they refer to somebody, I've been referred to coloured plenty of times, and it's questioning that person as to what their understanding is. Why have they said that? Do they understand that it's inappropriate? And I think when you talk about values and principles and, why we're here and what we're doing, it's making sure that if I can help one person, that's what's important for me, because I know through my journey I struggled a lot, and I'm incredibly fortunate to have a very supportive family. But when you're in that environment, you can feel alone, and that you try your hardest to navigate through it. And for me, my sole purpose in terms of my agency, Morgan Sport Management, supporting athletes both on and off the field, it's making sure that I see them and I see them for who they are, and they don't always get to be seen the way they want to. And I just want to be a voice for those people, but also guidance and a support system, and somebody who's experienced things that they probably have and will do in the future, and to help them get through that and navigate through in a very positive and successful way.
Thank you, Holly. I see both Keith and Troy just nodding while you speak. Troy, can we learn a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, I'm nodding because both of them have taken my word, so I don't know what to say now. No, it's an absolute privilege to be a part of what is no doubt a very, very special day, and to be able to contribute for myself is amazing. I'm going to steal a little bit of what Keith said about his upbringing. One parent family, no father around. Football was the only thing that I ever wanted to achieve at. It was the only thing that I felt that I was good at. But what makes football so special is that it sets you up for life almost. So it gives you a friendship circle, relationships that have lasted throughout the whole of my I was going to tell you how old I was then, but my years. The other side of that, and being, mum not really wanting to be involved in what that journey looked like.
International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Troy, we're going to come back to you. I
No
think
worries.
we have, somebody's running into the, hi, Jeremy.
So, hello everybody in Paris. Can you hear us?
Jeremy not here. Jeremy Gilly is the founder of Peace One Day.
Woo.
Hello.
He was with us at the Global Forum Against Racism and Discrimination in Mexico. Jeremy, over to you.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to apologize to Troy because he was telling his story, which he's going to tell for our audience in a moment. But it's an amazing thing that's happening. I mean, firstly, UNESCO is the most incredible organization.
Can you see us, Jeremy?
Yes, we can see you. Can you hear me?
Can you see us? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can see you and hear you. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Technical mishap. There you go.
Okay.
Yes,
so
Jeremy.
Okay,
Over to you.
I'm going to answer your question now. We've got a slight time delay, but that's the wonderful thing about communicating across the water. So a big thank you to UNESCO, to everybody involved all over the world who's watching your event today, a masterclass on anti-racism. UNESCO is such an inspiring organization, and I'm proud to have worked with UNESCO in Mexico, and I look forward to a wonderful future together. But today is the day for the elimination of racial discrimination. This is an incredibly important day. At Peace One Day, we want to give information that informs, inspires, and engages people to a world where we eliminate racial discrimination. And today, Anti-Racism Live is a show being broadcast across the world. If people want to find out about Peace One Day, go to peaceoneday.org, follow on social media. We're broadcasting every month, constructive narrative that inspires people to be at the forefront of the journey towards a more peaceful and sustainable world. So to all the young people who are listening to UNESCO and indeed to Peace One Day all over the world, never give up, always keep going, and together we can change the world. I'm not going to say much more because I'm now going to ask and let you listen to three incredible people who have devoted their lives to the issues of helping other people to become anti-racist or to give them opportunities in life, that will, perhaps they hadn't had before. So firstly, I'm going to go to Holly. Holly, there's lots of young people watching all over the world. We're now live in not only the Peace One Day event, but also UNESCO's event. I know this is pretty crazy, but well done UNESCO for having a go at this. But Holly, if you could say one thing to a young person out there in the world who perhaps wants to go on a journey of manifesting a more just, equal, diverse and inclusive world, what message would you give them?
In short, I think it would be to learn from the wisdom and experiences of the older generation, and to hear their stories and to listen to their experiences, and then to use your energy in abundance to make a change regardless of how small you think the act may be. I think if you want to be the change, you have to be the change. And my thing would be, no matter how small it is, no matter how large it is, it starts from you. If you are the change, you will make the world a better place.
Well, thank you, Holly, for that. And by the way, to all of the audience, you must, follow Holly, Keith and Troy. But Holly's an international footballer, an incredible footballer. So you must find out about her story and the work she's doing now. I'm going to now go to Troy. So Troy, I'm ever so sorry I interrupted you. I'm never going to be forgiven for that. That was awful. But we had to go live out there in the world. And I know you love that. Yeah. But I mean, to the young people, you help a lot of young people on a daily basis. You're a total inspiration to so many.
Thank you.
To the young people who are listening, in the incredible masterclass from UNESCO, what would you say to them on their journey for a more just, equal, diverse and inclusive world?
These are not my words, but I want them to research an artist called George Benson and a song called The Greatest Love of All. And I'm not going to sing it, by the way, but it begins with...
Shame.
It begins with, I believe that children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. The future is there. And I think that if we can provide a platform for those young people to advance themselves in this space, then we'll have a better future for sure.
Great. Well, hopefully next time we'll get Troy to sing that. I'm sure he could. But anyway, thank you. That was beautiful, Troy. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And Keith, lastly to you, a word of wisdom for the young people out there. But also, Keith is an incredible footballer who runs an amazing organisation.
Jeremy, can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you see the room?
Yes, we can see the room.
Yes, can you see us? Okay,
Yeah.
great. We don't have a lot of time, Jeremy. Sorry.
Okay.
But can we just have just 1 minute for your panel, and then we go back to Gabriela and Tenoch Huerta.
Okay, well, we're going to close with this last minute. I'll say thank you to UNESCO. We're going to have the final words from Keith. What final word would you give the young people out there listening who are doing the masterclass for UNESCO?
I think simply what you do today is a reflection of you tomorrow. And if you can consider that on a day-to-day basis, change and positive social change can occur.
Bye-bye, UNESCO. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful time. Enjoy the rest of your show. Take care, everybody. Good luck, UNESCO. Okay.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Wow.
This is the last time you're interrupting.
Well, to our audience, out there watching, that must have been kind of interesting. We were there live with 2 events. But Sherette, I'm going to go back to you, and certainly we're going to go back to Troy, who was telling us his wonderful story. But thank you very much, Sherette.
Thank you, Jeremy. See you later.
See you later.